Hello. We are here. There's some event coming up. I hear it's important. I hear I'm supposed to predict stuff. It generally does not work. But I was 7 for 7 on day 2 in the last World Championships. Keep that in mind. I am 3 for 3 on grand final predictions. At the time, obviously. Not from these predictions. Because, no one cares about these. They care about the ones set on the desk right before. So, Lawler, I'm coming for that wizard hat. It's coming soon. But we're going to go over the entire World Championship. There's a lot of games, guys. There's a lot of games. I will even predict the show match. Because, I'm playing in it. So we already know who's going to win. Just the way it is. We don't know the opponents. It's still a surprise. But I can still predict it. All right. I'm wearing this hat for one reason, and one reason only. OCE. This is called the Get Fucking Fucked Bud. I was going to try and add some Australian word in there, but this isn't going to be good for OCE. I'll give Alpha Sydney a game, but we're just going to get right into it. I'm just predicting the whole thing. But that's all I'm giving them. It's as much as OCE is going to get. Northern's going to have a field day. We might see some 10 goals. Probably not. But we might see Brazil. We might see it. I don't know. Who knows? Let's just go right into it really quick. Predictions. OCE. Yeah, I was going to say like mate, but there's a B on my hat. So I was hoping for some B terminology. But what can you do? But we're doing the whole bracket here, guys. We're doing both upper and lower. Lots of games. So, on the first day, and we're going to go over day by day, and we'll talk about the teams. I don't want to talk too much about OC. I don't think they're going to do much here. So, we'll get into the meat of the bracket in a bit. But I think Denial has been shaky. If OC is going to win any series, it's the one with Alpha Sydney versus Denial. If they lose that series and they play first, I believe it's first, then OC is screwed. Because if Denial beats Alpha Sydney, the best team from OCE, no one else has come close. Because Denial is arguably, well, not even arguably, they are the weakest team here from North America plus Europe. But again, crazier things have happened at LAN. There's always upsets, and that's why everyone always gets some prediction wrong. Like, no one had Take 3 going to 4th place last time. No one had Cosmic winning the whole thing besides, Cosmic fanboys for the first LAN. So there's always going to be upsets. But I don't think OC is going to be a part of it anymore. I could see Denial maybe making an upset later on. Because they're boot camping right now, which is nice to see. We've seen a lot of teams actually doing it. Market doing it. Like, some people talk, badly about Market as the org. But honestly, they treat their players pretty well. They're flying them out early to Vegas. And they're getting in a pretty long boot camp. So hats off to them. And I expect them to come out pretty strong. Same with Flipside, obviously. Like, Flipside, when they want to play, they can play. We just haven't seen it that much yet. But, yeah, let's just get right into it. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to throw them out there. I'll try and catch them as I'm going through this. But, honestly, I think Alpha Sydney is their best chance is to beat Denial. And if they don't beat Denial, it's going to be a rough tournament for OCE. So I think Alpha Sydney will lose that. I'll give them a game. Why not? Like, I don't want them to get swept out. Both OC teams. So I'll give them a game. But I think Denial will take that one 3-1. They've been talking like they've been working on some of their problems. It's weird though. Like Lethamir's tweet sounded like they've already lost the tournament and they just hope they beat OC, which is not great for confidence going into this matchup. But I'm not sure if he meant it that way, but that's how it came off. They don't expect much from themselves, I think, in this tournament. Which again, in a way, we've seen teams that are like, we're here to have fun. Do pretty well. And I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on both these teams. Alpha Sydney plus Denial. Like, Denial doesn't want to be embarrassed by the OCE region. And OCE, sure, they're here. But, like, they have a lot to play for here. We don't know what's going to happen to them in Season 4. We don't know what type of bracket system is going to happen. Like, say they add more regions. Like, if OCE just shits the bed here, there might be, like, a play-in between other regions with OCE to make it into the tournament. Who knows? I honestly have no idea. But if they shit the bed, there's a good argument that OC maybe shouldn't be on this main stage right away. They might have to play in versus other regions. And then on the opposite side, if Alpha City does pretty well, which is basically winning one series, if they win two, that's phenomenal. Then who knows? Maybe they keep them in here and they're like, hey, all right, look, this team can compete. And that's because like this is their first season, but if they go into season number 2, you know, they'll build off that momentum and they might keep them in like this mainstay part of the bracket. But I mean, who knows? Like, I have no idea what's happening for season 4, but I think it could come down to a lot of this with OCE. There's a lot of pressure on them to perform because if they don't, they might be like relegated to more of like a play-in sort of format where once again, they have to be like a 9th or 10th seed, play with other regions or something to get into even the normal LAN. Who knows? Like maybe they'll have some other one, or they'll just have an extra day where it's more play-in matches to see who makes, you know, the meat of the bracket. They kind of already doing this now with this play-in, but if they do play well, who knows? Maybe that'll change. Am I practicing for my Friday reunion? Absolutely not. I actually played today on my laptop that had to be played on battery, so it was massive input lag. So that's about as much play as I've been getting. So not too much. We're going to have fun with that, but we'll talk about that show match in a little bit. But it'll be a good time. All right. Let's continue. So I think OC, a lot of pressure on them from Alpha City, but at the same time, they don't expect to do much, but you're the number 1 seed from OC. Like, you're their only hope, or at least their best hope. So I think a lot of pressure on both these teams. I think Denial comes out with the win. I hope Denial wins, honestly, because I think it'd be kind of awkward if Sad Jr. loses on the first day and then has to play in this play-in match or the show match later on with us. I assume like he'll be fine either way because it's Sad Jr. He really doesn't give a crap. But I think he would be in better spirits if he won on the day, but we'll see. Northern versus Jam, like Northern's a good team, like even with Turbo. They still have a chance to win this whole thing. So sorry about the nose sniffles, but Northern's going to mop up Jam Gaming easily. It's not even going to be a contest. So those are the first 2 games of the day. And then we get into Rogue versus Leftovers again in day 1. This is a very interesting matchup for North America because honestly, a lot of people think like NRG is the only North American team that really has any shot here. And this matchup is going to determine a lot of that between Rogue and Leftovers. Because if Leftovers come out, a team, again, in Europe that a lot of people are like, they got here, they had some crazy wins to get it to a top 2 seed, but a lot of people still have them as like a 4th or 5th best in Europe, like maybe Gale Force over Leftovers here or there. But Leftovers, they earned their spot here, obviously. But again, a lot of people don't see them as like amazing in Europe, except for their clutchness, which could come into play here, obviously, at the LAN. But Rogue is coming in as the number 2 team from NA. They got destroyed against the number 1 team from NA, but like if they get mopped up by Leftovers, it really just leaves energy left of like what's going on with North America, because a lot of people think maybe Iris could have been that team to compete here if they would have made it into the bracket play or into league play. And then some people like still think like G2, even though they fell apart towards the end, at times like their best, they would have at least competed a little bit with Europe. So I want to see how Rogue comes out in this series. I think Leftovers win this, which I'm sorry, Snasky. That's going to hurt you. And I want to make sure that I'm actually doing the exact same predictions I did earlier in the week that I did on Twitter, if you guys didn't see that. So I got to find that real quick. I don't want to mess up my predictions. Yeah, I did have Leftovers. Okay, so I don't think North America is too strong. I think there's a lot of holes in Europe that could be exploited here, and it's on North America soil. That could always help. Atelier changed to Rogue. Yes, they are now Rogue Gaming, thank God. So we don't say Atelier anymore. And I hope all 3 of them know how to pronounce Rogue compared to Atelier. So, yeah, so now they are Rogue Gaming, so I'm so happy for them. And again, like Leftovers, now they're the only team without a sponsor here. So the Leftovers just being left out of everything. First their teams and that. But I think Leftovers win this. I think they win 3-1. But this one I think could be one of those games where Rogue takes it. I think this could be a close set. It could be, go all the way to 5. But even Snasky said, he's like, I'm only worried about energy. Then every other team in North America, I think, will get swept by Europe, he said. And then he said, except maybe Atelier can battle a little bit. And I think they'll battle a little bit, but they'll lose 3-1 in close games. Like, I don't think Leftovers is blowing anyone out here. They usually play pretty close games. They're not super offensively talented. They're more about defense. So I think it'll be close, but Leftovers will come out to win. Also, Turtle has had 2 extremely poor land performances. If that happens again, Rogue is screwed. They really need Turtle to play really well. Matt and Sizz, obviously, brand new into this. Same time on the other side, we have Sicky. He's had 1 really bad performance and then 1 okay performance. But he's been there before, so that should help him as well. Same with Turtle, though, too. So we'll see the 2, 3-time land players. We'll see who steps up. I think Snasky will feed off some energy. Farah, honestly, wild card. I don't know. I don't know how he's going to play, but we'll see. He'll be well fed, though, because I'll be taking him out to dinner one of those nights. So I'll give it to Leftovers because he'll be well fed. So that's how it'll work. Next match, and the final match of day 1, except for the show match, will be Flipside versus Selfless. It's weird. It's the 2 teams that kind of stuck together for a really long time. Selfless, they flirted with separating. They even had Timmy as a sub. Dapper and Miho were both trying out for many different teams. No one wanted to pick them up, so they just formed back together, and it worked out. And they made it here with Timmy as their sub at the start of qualifiers, then comes in as the starter, can only play Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and playing really well. Well, playing marginally well. Like, he played really well at the start of the season. Kind of, like, tapered off towards the end and let Dapper and Miho do their carry, which Dapper and Miho are phenomenal players. But Flipside, world champions coming in. They were super nervous, they said, for their first match when they played Take 3. And Selfless, they played Energy close. They know how to play teams close, I feel like. They always find a way that, like, they play down to their opponents, I think, but they also play up to their opponents as well. So this could be a closer series than you might expect. I think Flipside will take this, just more experience there. You know what? Let's have a fun one here, and let's go 5 games. I think Flipside will turn it on it, like after going down 2-1 or something like they usually do. But day 1 jitters with Flipside have happened a lot, so you have to be careful with that. But I think Flipside takes this. But I think it could be a little bit of surprise that Selfless kind of stays with them. It comes down to how well does Timmy play. If he just is getting mopped up, which is very possible. This could be an easy win for Flipside, but we've seen them nervous before in their first round matchups. They beat Take 3, which, like, Take 3 was considered a pretty weak team at the time. 3-1, but it was kind of close. Then they lose to Cosmic as well in Season 1 in their very first game. So I think they might have some problems here, but I think they will pull out the win. And that ends then day 1. Then, of course, there's the Cosmic Aftershock show match. And to be determined who we play. But obviously, we're going to win. I don't even know how many games we're playing. I hope it's 3. Like, that'd be fun. But we're obviously going to win. Because obviously, I carry Cosmic Aftershock every single time. You know, Sad Jr.'s going to be tired from the day. Crow can't even make a land. Like, I'm a 3-time land boy as well. So, Cosmic Aftershock in the bag. 0 goals against. No problem. No problem. All right, back to business. Day number 2. This is where we get to see the 2 number 1 seeds from Europe and North America coming in. Mock it, my team, to win the LAN, as I keep saying. Coming out versus a Denial squad, which I think the number 1 seeds, it's weird because the Energy has lost twice as the number 1 seed, but this is the toughest task yet for the number 1 seeds because both of these teams have to play a team that's already played a game. Like, they did play it on day 1, so at least they'll start off kind of fresh again on day 2. But they've played games before on the stage, and they will be warmed up to the crowd, or the nerves will be kind of worn off because it'll be day number 2, and they'll be kind of in the flow. So this is a chance where even more upsets could happen. But I don't see that happening with Mocket versus Denial. I think Mocket is too good, and they will beat them. I haven't watched any of the Mocket scrims. I know they've been streaming a lot. I haven't been around this whole weekend. Let me know in chat how those have been going. I heard a little bit that, like, they weren't doing too well against Flipside, but I could be wrong there. So just let me know. But I have Buccaneer 3-0. I think they will mop up Denial. What's going on? Pluto's in the chat. And Red Kill Tiger, thank you for the sub. 10 months in a row. You are the man. And Mocket has dropped games to Rogue. Okay, yeah, but I still think Mocket are looking strong here. But we'll see. They might even have to play Rogue because of how the bracket works out. So we'll see. Like, I think they're, from what I've been hearing, their scrims haven't been going too well, but that's fine. Okay. So we got Mocket versus Leftovers. We'll go to that in a little bit. So I'm not sure if that's the first game of the day, but I'm going to assume it is. We're just going to kind of go in order here. I'm not sure exactly the format, but on day number 2, it's going to be 6 games. We got Energy versus Northern coming up next. This one is one of those upset alert games. Like, Energy has had problems every single time in the first round. I think they're better with Garrett now, though. But Northern as well, they will come off like basically a warm-up match versus Jam Gaming, getting them all excited to be at the LAN and get those nerves out. So this is a problem for Energy. Like, this is their toughest opponent yet out of all 3 of their LANs. But I think they pull this one out. I think Energy is going to have a good LAN. I will give it a 3-1 here. Like, Northern, for both LANs, Maestro has been like one of the best performing players out of all of the LANs in both of them. The only player I put him behind is probably Cooks for being at both LANs so far. It's been Cooks, then I put Maestro, and then Garrett's been doing really well as like a carry as well. So I think Garrett can really perform on a LAN setting. Sad Jr. has had some problems as well throughout the first 2 times that he was with Energy, and I think that's why they wanted to make a move. But Garrett shows up at LANs, and I think he'll do it once again here, and I think Energy will win, and I think it'll break their curse against Europe. They're 0-4 against Europe. I think they have a really good chance of winning this entire LAN. So, also, it's on North American soil. So far, we've never had a team, like a region, win when it's not on their soil. So, that could play in their favor. I could see the crowd getting behind Energy like crazy with Jacob with his foam hat. Hopefully, he bought one. And, yeah, so I got Energy here. 3-1. And then we go down to the bottom bracket. Again, it's OCE. I don't think much is going to happen here. I don't give Alpha a game here versus Selfless. I think it'll be a 3-0. I have a negative in here. Hold on. Well, I guess you guys can't see that. So I will give Selfless a 3-0 here. I just don't think OCE has it. Their only chances versus Denial. I just don't think they have it. Then Rogue versus Jam. Again, like, this should be kind of like a warm-up game for Rogue. And I give it a 3-0 for Rogue as well. Can you link this bracket you're using so I can experiment? I just made it on Challenge, Pluto. You just have to list all 10 teams in order and then just make a double elimination bracket. So that's what I did on Challenge. It's just my own little bracket. All right. Yeah, the 1-2 seeds, yeah, like, they can finish 7th place instead of 9th. Like, they get a bye in the lower bracket. But honestly, I don't think anyone really cares if you finish in 9th or if you finish in 7th. It's only $1,000 difference. And honestly, if you finish in either of those spots, it's considered a failure. It's not really that big of a deal. So I wouldn't put too much energy behind, like, oh, some teams came in 9th and some came in 7th. It's like just the way, like, the brackets work out. Like, it really doesn't matter too much. But I think OC will both finish in 9th. And then it just comes down to, if any team loses to OC, then they'll be the ones probably finishing in 9th place. So that's the end of day 2? Is that 4 games? Yeah. So it would be all of this round and then these 2 games. So going into day 3. Day 3 is extremely long. And we will still have 8 teams left. I am going to be tired as all hell by the end of this, because it's going to be 8 games that are best of 5s. Then, of course, the upper bracket finals is best of 7. The lower bracket finals is best of 7. And the grand finals is best of 7. And then it could be a bracket reset. So we could get 9 series and 4 of them being best of 7s on the Sunday, which will be the longest Sunday we've ever had. Before that, we've always had 7 games with a possible 8. So then it would have been 4 best of 7s out of the 8. But now we could have 9. So even though we have 3 days, for some reason our Sunday got longer. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Chat is frozen on screen. Okay, let me fix that. I think I can just click it on and off, and we'll see if it works. Thanks for the heads up. Okay. I don't know what people are talking about here, but cool. All right, let's get into it. So day number 3. I assume we'll start at the bottom and we'll work our way up. I'm not sure the order here, but let's just assume we're going to start in lower round 2. I don't know what's going on here. Okay. I think the rules got changed, Yarhar, for the upper and the lower bracket to be best of 7. I'm pretty sure that just got recently changed. All right, let's get into it. Northern versus Selfless. I like Northern. Like, I still think Northern's a pretty good team. I still want to make sure I'm going with my bracket here, but I'm pretty sure I'm going okay. Like, Northern's a good team, like, even with Turbo. Like, Turbo's no slouch. He played at one LAN as well, so he'll have some practice coming in. I like Northern here. I still think Europe is a very strong team. Or a strong region compared to North America, even though there is some flaws. Like, I think there is upset potential where North America can climb out of it a bit, maybe even get 2 in the top 4. Who knows? It'd be a shocker if that happened, but it's possible. Selfless, again, plays close with a lot of people, so it's possible here, but I have Northern. Let's just go 3-2 again. Like, Selfless is going to be one of those teams just playing tight with everyone. Again, we'll see how Timmy plays. I expect Dapper and Miho to play pretty well. I just don't know about Timmy. And then at the same time, I don't know about Turbo. He should play okay, though. And then at the same time, Northern, for the other 2 lands, they had Maestro carrying pretty hard. So we'll see if Remco can step up. Devo had a really good land last season by being a playmaker, actually, which... So then Remco will have to be the goal scorer, which is very possible. Or Turbo. Like, Turbo got the most goals in their 3rd place game when he had 0 practice versus the leftovers, because that was like a surprise. So I could see Northern winning this over Selfless. And sorry, Pluto, but that's just the way I see it. So Selfless will bounce out in 7th place. Then Denial versus Rogue. I think Rogue has this. This is one of those kind of sleeper games where Denial could surprise. But Rogue's been looking really good. So I have Rogue here. And so far, I haven't had really too many upsets, I would say. I think, for the most part, basically no upsets. Maybe if you want to say leftovers over Rogue, but not much going on here. Maybe Northern versus Selfless. But I think most people know Europe is the stronger region. So far, no upsets, but we'll get into them in a bit. Mock It, though. Back at the top, I think they got an extremely favorable bracket, but that's what you get for having the #1 seed. And I think they will take this game. Sure, the scrims haven't been going too well. They still have another week to go. Mock It, historically, even versus Northern Gaming and stuff, they a lot of times they will fall to them a bunch in a row and then finally pull it out. So they have their ups and downs. I'm just banking on their up being when the LAN happens. We've seen other ups and downs throughout the RLCS season, so I expect them to do well. I think it really comes down to Fairy Peak. If he can play under the pressure. K-Dot played pretty well the last time. He actually won the game winner versus Energy, I believe, in the Game 5 overtime when they beat them, the #1 seed from North America versus the Europe 4 seed at Season 2 LAN. So K-Dot's been there before, high-pressure situations, and performed. I expect him to do the same. And Mystic, he had one of the best LANs from compared to League play in Season 2. He was extremely quiet all League play Season 2. Northern Gaming didn't really need him to do much, but then when it came to the LAN, he really stepped up and was playing extremely well. And I think that catapulted him into where he is now, and he's been playing out of his mind. So it really comes down to Fairy Peak. We'll see. He's that fresh player. But again, that first series versus Denial will help them a lot, and I think Fairy Peak will do pretty well there, and I think that'll continue versus the leftovers. And I got Mock It winning. We'll go 3-1 here for Mock It. Okay. Next up, we have Energy versus Flipside for the 3rd straight season. They will battle, but it'll be in the upper bracket this time. And Flipside, they're notorious for losing one of their first 2 games. Now, it's not necessarily on day 1 anymore. This will be all the way on day 3. But I am going to go with the upset. I think Energy has a really good chance at this LAN. Garrett is the answer, and I have Energy winning. Even though Flipside, they are boot camping, and when they start practicing hard, they are extremely scary. But they have shown nerves before. Obviously, they've won the World Championships. They know how to battle out of it. But I think here's my first big upset. I have Energy beating Flipside. Let's go 3-2. Let's go for an aerial dribble goal in Game 4 overtime to win it for Garrett, and then Energy pulls it out. Jacob does something crazy, and they take it. So we'll go with Energy there. Now, I assume it goes back down to the lower. I think this is the right order. I could be a little bit off. I haven't been checking the order because, honestly, whatever. Doesn't matter. I'm going to be there all day anyway, on the desk, so you won't miss anything. I have a lot of giveaways, actually, for the desk, for the crowd. So if you're in the crowd, make sure you're ready. But we'll go over that more at the actual event. And Every team you predict this season loses, Gibbs. Hey, Chrome, I predicted Europe pretty well. I only predict good teams well. It's only the upper echelon, okay, Chrome? So don't give me that shit, all right? Jesus. Sorry, Chrome. I love you. Sorry I was so harsh to you, but I figured you were probably harsh to yourself after that performance versus Selfless. But let's go into it. Sorry, Chrome. I love you. No shade here. I wanted to meet you and just talk about Shadowrun all day. But now you're not even going to be at LAN. I don't think. So now we can't even do it. Johnny Boy, obviously Johnny Boy's going for all Europe. We all know this, Johnny Boy. We all know. All right. Next up, we got Leftovers versus Northern. I think this is a really tough one. I have these guys on paper, like paper odds, probably pretty equal to having a chance here. This one's tough. I actually don't remember what I did. I want to see what I did and then see if I agree with myself now. Okay. Leftovers versus Northern. Here's where the clutchness of Leftovers comes out. Pull something crazy. I think they win this series. It'll be close. I think it's a very tight series between the two. I think Northern, honestly, if I was like a bet man or like with a favorite, like if it was like 50-50 odds of who you want, of who you think's going to win for your money, I'd probably go Northern, but I'm going to play the upset here. At least I think it's an upset. I got Leftovers winning this, a clutch series. We'll go with a reverse sweep. Why not? Leftovers have to do it once, right? Just the way it is. It's NA or in denial. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Flipside versus Rogue. It's Flipside. They're in the lower bracket. I think Rogue kind of gets the shaft here. Because of the loss to Leftovers, they get a little bit of a tougher road playing Flipside. Flipside's in the lower bracket. So that means Flipside wins? I can see Flipside just like mopping up. Like this is their first game in the lower bracket. They're pissed. Just go 3-0. I think Rogue has actually a decent chance. Like they've been playing pretty well, but when they got destroyed by Energy, that's kind of concerning usually. Like I think a lot of people will have Rogue extremely high coming into this. I don't have them as high, but I still want to look back at some of their more games. But I don't think that they will perform as well as some people think. Honestly, like Turtles coming in, 2 poor performances at LAN. Matt and Sis have never been here. It could affect them decently. I still think they beat Denial, but I think like Denial is kind of like that team that just kind of snuck in and that they could play spoiler, but it's very doubtful. They haven't been playing all that well. So, all right, let's continue. We got Mock. Actually, we'll go to the bottom, I think, first. Leftovers versus Flipside. Actually, no, I think it is the upper first. So let's go Mock versus Energy. This will be a best of 7. I believe Mock wins this. I think Energy can put up a fight here. We'll go 4-2. I think Mock's gonna they're gonna be hot. Fairy Peak's gonna do some fairy things. K-Dop's gonna come up big and slay Energy once again. And I think Mock will take this one. 4-2. Next up, Leftovers versus Flipside. This is the end of the road for Leftovers. Like Flipside, like again, it's lower bracket. Flipside's gonna be angry, and they're gonna start tearing through people for a little while because it's part of the story, it's part of the script. So Flipside's gonna win here, and we're gonna set up another match with Energy versus Flipside. But Energy is gonna slay all demons, and I think Energy is gonna come out hot for this LAN. We've never seen a team lose the upper bracket final and then win to go back into the grand final. Mostly because it's been Northern Gaming both times. But I think finally we get it here. Energy takes it 4-3. Another, this time game 6 aerial dribble from, this time Jacob. And we'll give it to Energy. I think Flipside, I don't know why. I'm just thinking, like, we haven't seen Season 2 Flipside yet. We could very possibly see them at the LAN because now they are boot camping and, you know, playing pretty well. But honestly, they were one touch away from not even being here. They still deserve to be here, obviously, and they're extremely good. But I think that'll be the big upset that Flipside does not even participate in the grand finals. And it'll be the first time that's ever happened. And then we have Mock versus Energy. All right. like, I think the only team in NA that has any chance to win this would be NRG. I don't think it'll happen. I don't think there'll be a bracket reset. I don't think that usually happens unless there's an upset earlier from one of these big teams. I think Mach.it can pull this out. I think Mach.it wins it once again. We'll go 4-3 because we all want to see Game 7. I mean, we haven't seen a game. So we've only seen one Game 7, and that was Northern Gaming versus Mach.it in the upper finals. We've never seen it in the grand finals. I would love a bracket reset and then another game. So I want to see 14 games. I want to see those caster boys tired. So, but I'm going to give it to Mach.it 4-3 because why not? It's fun. And Mach.it will win the tournament. And let me scroll down here. Mach.it will win. Energy will be second. And Flipside will be third. I think Mystic is going to be a big proponent in Mach.it's success when he will just show up out of nowhere and make some really, really good plays when, like, he normally is that kind of guy sitting around the back trying to clean up stuff and not really showing up because he doesn't have to. He lets K-Dop and Fairy Peak be that duo to do it. But I think they'll win because I've said it since the start, and we're going to continue with that. Even though their scrims might not be going too well, they'll find a way, Mach.it. You'll find a way. It's fine. And if I am actually right, then I look like a genius. And if I'm wrong, everyone forgets in a week, so it's fine. But I think the teams that I think realistically have a really good chance of winning. Obviously, Flipside, I feel, are the favorites coming in. They have the LAN experience. They came in second in Europe. Sure, they lost that series, but they are boot camping now, obviously. And last time that worked pretty well for them. And now they also only have to play one game on day 1 and one game on day 2, which might help them. I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see if they have those early round jitters that might throw them down into the lowers. And then if they make one mistake down there, it could be trouble. But the Flipside, I think, are the heavy favorite. So I wouldn't say heavy favorites. Like, I think Season 2, they were heavy favorites. Season 1, they weren't even favorites. I'd say Northern was slightly above them. But I still think they are the favorites. Even though they didn't win Europe, they just have all that experience. They're the world champs. Like, you have to beat them to become world champs. So they have all the experience in the world, same exact roster. They know what they're doing. So they're the favorites there. But I think Mach.it is a close second. We'll see with these scrims how those play out. But Mach.it, they performed when it mattered. They also didn't do that bad during the regular season. They were basically one K-Dop disconnect away from being a top 2 seed out of league play anyway. They would have had a very good chance of beating Flipside. Like, it would have been 2-2, and they would have had one game left. And since K-Dop DC'd, Flipside got a free win, so it didn't really work out. So they could have very easily been a top 2 team even going into the playoffs, and then people might be thinking a little bit differently of them. But when they're hot, they're an extremely strong team. They also historically have been playing pretty well against Flipside, but I hear the scrims aren't going as well now. So, and then Energy, I think we say this every year or every season, but they are NA's only hope, maybe. But again, it's on NA soil. Last time it was on North America soil. We had North America actually perform pretty decently. It was exactly even versus Europe, or close to even. Versus Europe. It did work out that they did get one more win when it was like Flying Dutchman versus Genesis. But they have looked pretty good when they're on North America soil. Energy, though, has never looked good. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. They now have Garrett, and I think Garrett has looked extremely strong, carrying his team at the past 2 lands, but it hasn't really resulted in anything. So the problem is it Garrett? Or was it his team? Is Garrett trying too hard? We'll see if that's the case when they start playing coming up here. But I think they have a really strong chance at winning this. Like, I think those 3 teams, I would be shocked if one of those 3 teams does not win the LAN. And then after that, I think it drops off pretty far. And then we have like a leftovers or a Northern Gaming situation, followed by Rogue, probably pretty closely behind there. And then it kind of falls off a little bit further for me there. Selfless, they play people close, but I don't expect them to win all those close series. Like, I don't think Timmy could keep up as much. Like, if he has free time, sure, like, he can make some plays. But I don't think he can keep up in the grand scheme of things, and I think that'll hurt Selfless a bit. And then after that, like, I don't think Denial has a chance to win at all. Selfless, I guess they could, but it's doubtful. And then OC, I don't expect them to do much here, but it'd be fun to see them win some series. Like, we always want some upsets because it's fun. We'll probably see a lot of upsets, so these will probably be completely wrong. We've never had a bracket go how we expected, generally. So it should be fun to watch, as always. We'll see if there's any questions in chat real quick. Timmy's playing every night now. Who knows? Maybe that hurts him. Now he's playing every night. It's like, crap, I'm tired. I don't know how to play 7 days of the week. So we'll see. But I still don't know if 7 days a week is the difference maker with Timmy. Who knows? Maybe it is. But I just don't expect Selfless to compete versus the European squads in the speed game. But you never know. Dapper had a good showing at Gold Rush. But those are ones for the most part. It doesn't really matter. But we'll see. It should be a lot of fun. Throw some questions if you want in chat. Tell me how wrong I am, which is fine. That's the point of these. We're just doing it for funsies. And I'm really excited for the LAN. We have some surprises in store. The desk should be a lot of fun. I have some surprises on the desk for the people, at least in the crowd, and just in general. Then we have the show match, which should be a lot of fun on Friday. I actually went to James and was like, hey, we should probably do this. Since all three of us are here, we have a short Friday. We can make it a little bit longer. And he's like, you know what? That's a pretty good idea. So it just had to go through the channels and stuff. So it worked out. So we'll be able to do that. And that'll be a lot of fun to play with Chrono's Head. I haven't played with them since basically the RLC Pro League. We played one series after that versus Double Tap in some other tournament that never finished that we won as well. But yeah, that was the last time I've played with the three of us. So that should be a lot of fun to get some games in there. This LAN is going to be so different. Who knows what could happen? Yeah, that's kind of the point. It's only our third live final. We've started to see some trends of some people performing pretty well, some not. I think one thing that Flipside has going for them is Greasy. It was probably the best performance I've seen from Greasy on Flipside as a carry role during the playoffs and during the last week of the league play, and that could be a major difference in them just dominating this entire tournament. Because if that works for them. Then they have a three-headed monster. They've always had a three-headed monster, but Greasy has been a little bit more quiet than Cux and Markey, but he was going ham during the playoffs, so that could really help him. Let's see what else I'm missing here. What time does the stream start on Friday? I don't know. I think it's 1 or 2 West Coast time. I'm not sure exactly, but it's somewhere around there, I believe. I think it's supposed to start a little later than the other days. I think the other days were 11-ish. I could be wrong. I'm not sure. So, wait. How many matches are played each day? So day 1 is the, there's 4 matches. There's this match, there's this match, and then there's the 2 2-3s, the Rogue Leftovers and the Flipside Selfless. So that's 4 matches there. Then the show match. And then on day 2, it's the rest of round 1. Oh, I think I did this wrong. It would be these 2, and then these 4. So we would have only 6 teams left after day 2. So I said that wrong earlier. And then we would have 8 matches left after that. We'd have these 2. Then this would be a best of 7. These 2. Then this would be a best of 7. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Then this would be a best of 7. And then these. So it'd be 8. Could be 9 because of the bracket reset. So that's what we got going on there. So I think I said it wrong earlier, but my mistake. DM Rollins says, no doubt it's possible that Alpha Sydney can beat Denal. I think anyone can beat anyone here, to be fair. Well, maybe not Jam over Northern. But, that there's a puncher's chance, I guess, for Alpha Sydney. But I think Denal takes the one. What team do you think will be the most or least affected in the LAN environment? Least affected would probably be Flipside. They've been here. They've played so many games. The Cooks here was at something like 57 games. I could be wrong there. I could have my stats wrong. But he's played a lot of games at LAN. So at some point, they just get used to it. We'll see if... And let's not even look it up. But they've played a lot of games. Flipside, because they've had to come from the lower bracket both times. They've played a ton. They should be used to this, but Season 2, they did say they were nervous going into their first game. I think everyone has some nerves going in, but they should be the least affected. Most affected are probably those brand new teams. I could see Selfless being affected. Who knows? Maybe they just feed off the crowd, and they could be affected in a good way. But or they could just come out with a lot of nerves. Northern could be really affected because they have to use turbo, and they could be like, if they start off slow, that could hurt them a bit, but they are playing jam, so they should be fine. And then Rogue, like Turtle hasn't played well at LAN yet, and Matt and Sis are brand new, so that could be something where like Rogue could go out super early, like they could lose to like a denial squad or something like that, and could be like, wow, you know, like everyone is expecting them to have a chance at a run, but they could just crumble. So it's possible. When is the Cosmic Aftershock match? It is after the matches on day 1. So there's 4 matches on day 1, and then the Cosmic Aftershock match is at the end of day 1. It's kind of just like a cap off for the day versus a team to be determined. Denial, yeah, it's boot camping. They just started today, or like, I think it was today. Maybe it was last night. I can't remember. So we'll see if that works out for them. But who knows? They're at least in person. I mean, who knows? Or, yeah, Chrom's just saying I think they're just hanging out in person. So we'll see. But sometimes it is good to just be in person and be, like someone saying, oh, they're too busy bowling. Like, you're allowed to have a little fun with your team as well. And I think morale going into these tournaments actually helps a lot. We've seen Cosmic being very upbeat. And, of course, like, they were winning everything, so that helps. But they were being very positive, it seemed like, in their comms. Or at least, so that helped a lot. Take 3. We saw them just having a lot of fun, and they proved that they went further than you would expect. Like, you see, like, a Flipside team, they're very serious, but it, like, works for them. But it doesn't work for everyone. And we've seen some of these fun squads actually make a run at it. So, who knows? Maybe Denial Bowling is actually the best answer for Denial. It might not necessarily be a boot camping extremely hard and being extremely serious about it. So, we'll see. You never know. Cosmic Aftershock versus Jam. No, like, we're not going to play a team that's here. What playstyle I think works best for the level of play? I mean, they all have their things. Like, I don't think aerial passing is necessarily a good strat. Infield passing is obviously good. Solo plays, when they can work, why not do them? And demos obviously help too. It's the only one out of those 4 is like aerial passing is not generally something that you should be trying to do a ton of. Because everyone can meet you to the ball up there. Okay, Pluto saying untethered is a no-go. So there you go. That checks off one name off the list, but we'll see. Cux and Markey have 37 LAN games. Greasy has 42. Damn, I think Cux and Markey have more than that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I added them up wrong earlier, but I think I have the stats here somewhere. I totaled it out. I have some notes that I've been doing. Let's see. Let's see what I got here. Yeah, Cux and Markey have 56 games at LAN. I think you only counted one of the seasons for Cux and Markey. Unless I added wrong. But 56 games is well more than a season's worth of games. So they've had a lot of experience there. And it's also because they've been in the lower bracket so much. But, like, take, for instance, Season 3, games played. I don't think these add up the playoffs. Let me just check this real quick. 33, and then playoffs, they played another 19. So, 52 games. So, they played more than what they've played in this season. So, but, yeah. But who knows? Like, these are my predictions. I think Mocket winning is an upset over Flipside. I think NRG coming in second is an upset as well. But I think those 3 teams, I would be shocked if at least 2 of those 3 are not in the grand finals. I'm not very convinced with any of the other teams making a run to a grand finals. It could happen. Like, people are saying Mocket has been having poor scrims. So if Rogue beats the Leftovers, like, Rogue could be that team that takes out Mocket. But I think that's unlikely. But again, it's North America soil. Who knows how the crowd is going to react, who feeds off the crowd, and so forth. So it should be a lot of fun. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for at least the YouTube portion. because I will probably clip this out. But hope you guys enjoyed these predictions. We'll see how wrong I am. But I will obviously change these when I'm on the desk, depending on how I see people playing, because that always changes stuff, and I forget because I'm just on the desk watching these games. So you'd be trying to ride the hot teams, but season 2 at least I was pretty good on day 2, so that worked out. I got an all 7 right, so we'll try and do that again, and we'll try and keep up my grand finals perfection of 3-0. So, yeah, but that'll do it for this one. I hope you guys all enjoy the stream. Please come out and watch. Tell your friends. It should be a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun stuff planned. And obviously, these teams are going to be playing their asses off. So come support all of them and cheer on your favorite, though. It's always more fun to just cheer on who you want to win. And, yeah, we'll see you at LAN. And if you're there, come say hi no matter what I'm doing. Unless I'm on the desk actively talking on camera. Besides that, go ahead and come say hi. I'll be around, and I'll be hanging out, having a good time. That'll do it for the YouTube portion. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you on Friday. All right, guys.